live stream, our visibility and marketing Q&A live stream that we're going to do once a month. Hey, Lyndsie?
We are.
Yeah. So this monthly live stream is an extension of our Business Accelerator Mastermind. The Business Accelerator Mastermind, it's not just another program. This is a place for women solopreneurs to go from scattered and second guessing themselves to clear, visible, profitable, and supported. So if you've been doing all the things in your solopreneur business, but you're not seeing the traction you want, we totally get it. Lyndsie and I have been there too. We know what it feels like to juggle all the roles, question what to focus on, and try to grow a business without a clear roadmap. So the Business Accelerator Mastermind is where strategy, accountability, and community come together to help you focus on what actually moves the needle and grow your business with more consistency and confidence. So today we have 2 questions from our beautiful mastermind members that we're going to answer today. The first question comes from Brandy, and that is, what is SEO? And the second question comes from Sonia, and she's asking, if you want to attract buyers, should tips be part of the marketing plan? Because she's heard many conflicting opinions. But before we get to answering these awesome questions, we want to introduce yourself. So over to you, Lyndsie. Tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I stumbled upon some pretty powerful yet simple marketing secrets while I was writing and marketing my first book back in 2015. And that led me to starting a marketing school and a business coaching business for women. And it led me to starting the YYC Fempreneurs community and a lot of things which I was actually really terrified to do because I was a hairdresser back when I was 18. I did that for about 10 years and I was really terrified of groups of women. And so luckily I overcame that fear with some help of other business coaches and therapy and stuff like that. And so I've just been reaping the benefits of learning, how to trust myself more, which is really the number one secret to marketing is trust yourself. When you feel called to share something on social media about, your line of work, you should do it. Your inner self knows what to do. And that was my biggest marketing aha, was learning how to trust myself. I wasn't bragging by talking about myself on social media. I was doing it to connect with the right people. And yeah, that's a bit of my story.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I help women who feel scattered, stuck, or inconsistent in their business get clear on what actually helps them move the needle forward in their business, to take focused action and start creating consistent results. And I felt really overwhelmed when I started my business. So I really want to help women not feel overwhelmed. And this work is really personal to me because before becoming an entrepreneur, I spent about 25 years in corporate marketing and communications, where I eventually stepped into leadership. And that's where my love of helping people reach their goals really started. And then about 15 years ago, I went through a divorce and then I got fired shortly after that. And that experience left me feeling really stuck, disconnected, and to be honest, like a complete failure. But it also was a turning point because it pushed me to really rebuild my confidence, kind of like what you were saying, Lyndsie, connect with my purpose and do the kind of really deep inner work that completely changed my life. And that's what led me to start this business and to the work that I do today, supporting women, not just with marketing and strategy, which is what we talk about a lot, but also what we talk about a lot, Lyndsie, is with our mindset and also the self-leadership that's required to really actually grow your business. So today we run the Fempreneurs Success Collective. We also run the Business Accelerator Mastermind, which I just talked about. And, in late 2025, you and I partnered, which has been really awesome because together we can talk about marketing strategy, visibility tactics, and mindset work to really help fempreneurs build sustainable, aligned, and profitable businesses. Because as both you and I are really passionate, we know that we can't do this alone and we need to be doing this in a community. So that's part of why we're doing this live stream, is so that we can reach more fempreneurs and really help them get clear on their marketing strategy and visibility. So that's a bit about me. So let's get into the Q&A. Let's get into Brandy's question, which is about what is SEO. And I'm going to turn that over to you because you're the expert on all things website, digital, SEO stuff. So go for it.
Oh, thank you. So SEO stands for search engine optimization. Google used to be pretty much the only search engine that we cared about, but now there are many. Instagram is actually a search engine in itself as well. So when you're thinking search engine optimization, you're thinking keywords. So what are the keywords that people are using in a Google search, for example, that will hopefully land them on your website? Now you can pay to boost yourself up higher on that list, but you can do a lot of cool things to organically get yourself there. Now, one caveat is that if you don't know who you're talking to, and if you don't have a super niche audience or a super niche ideal client, your SEO sort of to-do list is going to make you feel crazy. You're going to struggle intensely. So you need to join a program like the Mastermind or hire Vera and I to help you drill down into what you're actually talking about and who you're talking to before you start even thinking about SEO. But let's say you're already there and you know who you're talking to and you know what you want to help your clients with or what you do help your clients with. Then you want to do things like start a blog on your website. Now, this is, of course, content that you can use in captions on Instagram and LinkedIn, and you can turn it into emails to nurture your email list. You want to start talking about the things that your ideal clients are wondering about, curious about, some of the things they're struggling with, some of those ideal outcomes they want to achieve through hiring someone like you. So the blogs can be stories from your life. They can be client success stories. They can be examples from movie characters that, illustrate what you do. It can be anything. Having that blog on your website with, a new blog post up every month is a great way to boost your search engine optimization. There's other ways to do it, but I would say start there. Most fempreneurs in this community are usually sort of starting out with their marketing stuff, or they're kind of just now grasping it. And I don't want to give this long list of things, but if you want some other suggestions other than starting a blog to boost your SEO, put a comment below wherever you're watching this on LinkedIn and YouTube, and I'll have a chat with you in the comments below about other SEO, methods.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So Lyndsie, my understanding too is now with AI and, ChatGPT and everything, that we're using a lot of that to help us create content or help us be a thought partner. But the way that it's extracting, the SEO kind of information from websites is like what you're talking about, is more the long form. So when you have a blog or an article, it's a long form piece of content, not like Instagram, which is usually short form, or if we're doing a post on Facebook, it's usually shorter form. So is that accurate, that if you have some longer form content, then AI is going to pull from that, which also increases your ability to show up when people are searching for you?
If people are searching for us, so what you're saying is if someone's searching for a business on, are you talking Google? Like, where are they searching?
Yeah, if they're searching on Google, right? Because I'm noticing when I search on Google, it brings up a little AI paragraph almost, or paragraph or two, as opposed to, how it used to always bring up just different websites. Now it's bringing up information. So it's pulling that from people's websites, which, you and I have talked about having FAQs and having like a lot of stuff that's on your website that's longer form, that's not just like short form content. Like, we're all used to these bite-sized pieces of content, but the way that AI is pulling stuff is almost longer form.
Yeah, I'm still so mad about AI, generally speaking. I don't like it. I don't use it. I'm being forced to use it. It's being jammed in my face, like what you're saying right now at the top of a search. And it's summarizing what it's finding on a website. So I would say it's happening anyways, to your point. What I would be considering is grabbing someone else's cell phone that isn't you and going searching for your website in Google and seeing what's coming up, because that's how you're going to know what's coming up. And if that is not accurate, or if there's a bunch of old pages on your website that you have like forgot to shut down or something, then that little AI blurb is probably picking some of that stuff up. So I would start with grabbing someone else's cell phone and figuring out what that AI summary is saying, and then work from there, go backwards from there, because you might love it. You might be like, yeah, that's perfect. That's great. It's exactly what I would want someone who doesn't know about me to read. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, I think so. And I think too, I like your idea about stories, because that's the one thing that AI can't actually replicate, right? So when we're putting on our personal stories, we're putting on testimonials from our clients, whether that's in video format or, in written format, like AI can't really generate that. Like it can't generate original content. So if we're putting in some of our personal stuff that's happening in our own lives, and also how we're helping clients. And I think that's the other thing, is if you can use real language that your clients or customers are using. So being really, again, I use AI for that kind of stuff, right? Like if I record a coaching session, then I have AI help me like pull out what people are actually saying so that I can use that in my post. We can use that on our website, and we can create messaging and content around that. So I think that that's another really great way to kind of get noticed, because then that way, if people are searching or Googling for your thing, you're not making an assumption of what it is that they're actually looking for. You're using real-time information from clients, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, like you said, stories are going to be the best marketing content you can ever come up with, because AI can't fake it. They can't fake your stories. So yeah.
They can't create stories. So yeah. Okay, cool. So SEO, if you have any more questions about that, just put that in the chat below. We can keep answering these questions every time we do these live streams, which again is going to be once a month. Or if you join our mastermind, then you're going to get access to us once a week. And also we have a private Slack channel, which is so cool. You can ask questions right in there and get answers from us, and also get information from the other Fempreneurs in the community. So it's really cool. Okay, second question, Lyndsie, comes from Sonia. And she's getting some conflicting opinions on whether or not you should use tips as part of your marketing plan. So you know how we always hear like tips and tricks, is that a way, in your opinion, to attract buyers? What do you think?
Well, we teach in our marketing programs, and I want to just plug the E2E school quickly here. So Employee to Entrepreneur School starts in October. If you're trying to get rid of your employee mindset and you're trying to wrap your head around how to like run and grow a business, then you need to jump into that. It's a 3-month program. But yeah, in E2E school, we teach our girls that there's 4 types of posts. There's inform and educate, which would be a tip, right? You would put tips in that category. There's just for fun, which is literally where you're sharing little glimpses of your life and who you are and the stuff that you love to do. And that's one of the secrets, like I mentioned in my intro, that's one of the secrets that I stumbled upon. I was like, wow, when I just share personal information, and I can slip a tip or a trick in there too, by the way. You can always add a little tip or a trick in there that has something to do with what you're sharing. But when I share just what I'm up to for fun and the things that I like, my hobbies, where I'm, visiting with family, funny things that have happened to me, people love that. And the more they like me, the more they want to hire me. So that's the second type of post. And then the third one is promoting others. So that's where we tag other businesses on Instagram in our posts or in our stories. And then lastly is, what did I say? Inform, educate, promo me, promo you. And then this is where we promote ourselves. The last one is basically a call to action. It's a very clear and direct pitch, we'll call it. It's like, this is what I have. This is how long it's available. This is what it's going to do. Buy it here. It's a very clear, direct type of post. So we suggest mixing those up. So a tip or a trick can actually be kind of mixed into any one of those 4. I would say don't use the word tip if you feel like that word is overused. There's so many other ways to do it. Like you could say juicy tidbit. You could say example. You could use the word example. Here's an example of something that works really well. And you could tell a story then, right? Like my client, Sally, change the name, change some information, and always try to spin it into a story whenever possible. Every tip that you want to share, and Vera and I do this all the time. Whenever we want to share a tip, we think, oh, what kind of story do we have that we can share, like to illustrate that? So illustrate. And that's why stories are so effective. And yeah, what else do you have to add to that, Vera?
Well, I think that it's interesting, right? Like, I think there's a lot of information out there in terms of like what you should or shouldn't do. But at the end of the day, it's about showcasing how you're helping your clients transform their lives. And like you said at the beginning, Lyndsie, it's not about bragging, but it's really about illustrating and showing. And the only way to do that is to share and to create a lot of benefit out there. That's the way to actually grow a business, right? It's just to give and provide value and to help people and have that energy when you go online. And I know that a lot of our women that we work with are really nervous to go on camera. They're really nervous to post something personal. But the thing is, you and I have seen this over and over and over again, that as soon as you do that, that's when you become a magnet for your ideal client. And so it's not like you can ever give away too much, because at the end of the day, all that information's out there anyways, but it's not in the way that you're going to do it. So call it whatever you want. If tips and tricks sounds too like, it just, maybe it's not right for your ideal client, or you just don't resonate with that language. There's a lot of different ways to do that, but you definitely want to be showing value. And that's also part of your SEO strategy, right? The more that you're posting consistently, you're having the same key message, you're saying the same thing over and over again in different ways, using different clients, using different stories. That's all going to keep growing your SEO as well. So posting consistently and posting personal things is so key.
Yeah, and the word key is actually a really great one to sub in for tip. That's one of my favorites is keys. So it's like, here's a key to blah, blah, blah success, to, you know, diet and exercise success, to whatever, parenting success, or improvement. If you don't want to use the word success, because that seems too, whatever, definitive, maybe say improvement or up leveling, right? But the word key is a great one to sub in for tip for sure.
Well, and the thing is, people want to know, right? And the reality is that there's a lot of information. People are scrolling through, like, how do you cut through the clutter? Like, you actually have to use some of those words, like secrets or improve or the key or success. Like, you need to use those powerful words that are actually going to draw people in. And it doesn't mean that they're, you know, I wouldn't use words like guarantee or I promise you this, but it's like things that we know that work that we're just sharing. And then if they want to know more, then they can hop on a call with you or DM you or, you know, grab your lead magnet or anything like that. So yeah, absolutely, Sonia, keep sharing. I know that you do wonderful things for your clients. So keep sharing those little tidbits of information that's going to just kind of keep them intrigued and then want to know more, because you're not giving away the whole entire book. You're giving away a little tiny like paragraph or two of a chapter. And then they're going to need to go, you know, learn more from you as time goes on. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if you guys have loved this and you're curious about the mastermind, you've got to check it out. You get $50 off your first month, which is amazing. Yeah. And we're going to get to hang with you every Tuesday. We're going to get to hear your goals. We're going to get to hold you accountable to them. At the very least, if you think Vera and I are like mediocre coaches, you're going to meet a ton of awesome women. So that's cool.
But we're not mediocre coaches.
We're not. We're amazing, but worst case scenario, you make new Fempreneurs.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like when I started my business, and you know this because I knew you early on in my business, as I felt really alone and like, am I the only one? Am I crazy? Like, how do I do this? How do I do that? And sure, I hired you, you know, I had other people in my corner, but at the end of the day, I also wanted to hear from like other women that were just like me. And there's so many amazing women doing amazing work. So let's learn from each other. And we see this every day, day in and day out in our Slack channel. Every time we have an in-person session, there's women helping each other and, you know, sharing their tips and tricks, information and resources. And it's super powerful. What else do we have going on, Lyndsie, in the next couple of weeks?
So much. I didn't actually tee up the calendar. Sorry.
That's okay. Let's just talk about the stuff so we've got the Business Accelerator Mastermind. So we do a 1-hour planning session the first Tuesday of every month. So the next one's coming up on May the 5th. So join before then. Like Lyndsie said, you get $50 off your first month, and then there's no obligation. So if you're like, this isn't for me, you can just cancel anytime, but give us a shot. There's no downside. It's all upside, because you're going to meet new women. You're going to get planned out for the month. And then the second and third Tuesday, we meet for half an hour. So that's coming up. What else do we have coming up in May?
We've got some in-person events. I'm not going to talk about those maybe because...
Talk about the workshop.
Yeah, the free workshop on May 20th. We're going to be teaching about let's get visible.
Oh my gosh.
Visible. And it's going to be awesome. And I will be singing a little bit at that workshop. Just kidding, I won't.
No, I think we should. I think we should have a little dance party. Yeah.
We're going to play that song for everyone waiting to come into the
because it's only been in my head ever since you started singing it to me. It's been in my head every day. So
someone else did that actually, which was awesome. And
so free workshop coming up on May 20th. And then June the 5th, we have our next Power Up session happening. So we did this in January. It's a half-day experience where we are going to be teaching about social media. Maybe we'll pop in some SEO there, Jody. I know you want some more SEO ideas. We're going to be talking about content creation, mindset, right? How do we get into the mindset of being a CEO of our solopreneur business? You're also going to have a chance to meet and connect with other fempreneurs. We're going to have some awesome pizza. We're going to be outside, which would be amazing. So the early bird pricing is still on. So we will also make sure to have that link down below once we send this out or whatever we end up doing with it. But we'll definitely have the link there, or check out our website. So yycfempreneurs.com, createyourbestchapter.com. All the links are on there, but we would love to see you. It's a really awesome, fun time. And it's really important to step away from our business and not always be like in front of our computer doing content. We also need to like, right? Step
put on
away,
pants, we like to say.
Put on pants, put on some real pants. Be with others, right? Think strategically, get some new ideas, get a refresh. I know for a fact that this is exactly what you're going to get. You're going to get some new ideas and new perspectives on things. So definitely come on, join us on June the 5th. And we're really excited about that. And then the mastermind. So come join us with the mastermind because we want you there.
There's lots happening. Yeah, both of our events pages are actually fully updated, which is amazing. I was looking at both of them yesterday. I'm like, look at us. We got all our events up. Sometimes we forget to add some. We know they're happening, but everyone else doesn't. And they're all up there. So our events pages are really, good for you to jump into stuff.
Well, I'm going to pat ourselves on the back a little bit, Lyndsie, because one of the things that we really teach and work with our clients is to help them create a structure that's really going to work for them in terms of like calendaring, time blocking, setting aside specific buckets of time to work on things. And you and I are really gelling in like, when are we going to have our CEO time, together time, right? Like we each have our own individual CEO time, but now we have in our calendar our CEO time where we're going to be updating these things.
So excited about that. Excited.
We're creating space and time that's very intentional about talking about our business and strategy and how we're going to actually help more fempreneurs. So because you know that I do lie awake. I think you lie awake at night as well, sometimes thinking about different programs. So now I know that I can just put that aside and tell my brain, listen, you're meeting with Lyndsie.
Keep the notebook beside your bed.
Oh,
so when you wake up, you just write it down.
I do.
We know that trick because that's how we stopped like staying awake at night because we write things down.
Yeah. And our brain, now I can tell my brain, don't worry, you're meeting with Lyndsie on Friday. It's all going to be good. So if you're not, and I actually just did a video about setting aside CEO time. So if you're not currently setting aside intentional time to plan out your business and really think about it, do that.
It's a great video. Yeah. If you don't know how to structure your CEO time, watch that video. Vera's YouTube channel is Juicy. Lots of good stuff on there.
Yeah. Okay, everyone. This has been amazing. We're so glad you're here. If you have any other questions about marketing, visibility, social media, growing your solopreneur business, just let us know. You can DM us. If you're part of our community, type it in the Slack. There's a special Slack channel just for that, just for Q&A. And we will be answering them publicly and also in the Slack channel privately. So we will be back here at the end of May again. I can't remember the date, but whatever. The last Tuesday of May.
Fourth Tuesday of May.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Have a great day, Lyndsie.
Have a great day, Vera. I'll talk to you in 5 minutes.
Yes. Okay. Sounds good.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.